Welcome back, everybody. Important Nonsense Podcast, 32 teams in 32 days. Green Bay Packers. Ugh. And I don't just say that as a
Green
bitter
Bay
Bears.
Slackers.
Whoa! Oh! Neil Smith, Jason Draven, Mike Burland coming back at you from the Important Nonsense World Headquarters, live from a storage container in somewhere near Mesa, Arizona. The guys, 32 teams in 32 days is like a roller coaster. Yesterday, we sat down to talk about the Detroit Lions. A lot of good information in that show. Long show, polarizing topics, real analysis. And I mentioned that it felt weird because that was the Lions show, which normally is that team's a disaster. It's weird that now we're going to do the annual Lions show for the Packers, not to spoil the whole show for everybody in advance. But we'll get the quick PSAs out of the way. Today is August 2nd. So if anything we say sounds dated, that would be why. Tune in for the wrap-up live stream on the 1st of September. Details to follow. We will publish those links out as soon as they are available. That will be a fun show where we will update all of the takes that may need to be updated from all of these. This is based on 12-team PPR redraft, God's format. We'll sprinkle in nuggets from other formats, obviously, but typically that's what the focus of this is. We are trying to get you prepped up for your 2023 redraft drafts that hopefully you have scheduled for Labor Day, which is when you should be drafting, to make sure you have all available information. The rankings that you hear, obviously, you will hear our own rankings. We will sprinkle them in, but primarily the ADPs and rankings come from Fantasy Pros, the ECR. We are a Fantasy Pros affiliate, and we love being one. Thank you very much, Fantasy Pros. The depth charts come from Player Profiler. Shout out to Jack. Jack, hope you're well, big guy. And with that, sign up for our Discord at forcewall.com/important nonsense. And you can get Jason screaming hot takes blasted into your face all day and all night, or as long as he's awake. And from what I can tell, he's up until about 2 o'clock in the morning, waiting for people to talk to him. So
it's very lonely in there.
Again, PF Brand will be very offended. Stop offending PF Brand. If he hears this, you're gonna get scolded for it. And
but it's not redraft for him. He's talking to Mike more than he's talking to me at this point.
He's talking about trades and Dynasty,
and I don't care.
I know. Your wrong opinion on Dynasty is that it's
too much work.
No, Dynasty is amazing. You're very wrong about this. Like, Dynasty is like redraft is like checkers. Dynasty is like chess. It's so much better. Yeah, we'll agree to disagree on that, but not really. We won't actually agree on anything. We'll disagree to disagree. How about that? You and I very rarely agree on anything, including probably some of these takes that we're going to start right now. We'll see how close we get. Let's rip this off, guys, because not to tease it again, the Packers, this is not your daddy's Packers team. This is not the Packers that we've gotten used to watching over the years. Elements of it still persist, but in case you were living under a rock, or if this was your first year playing fantasy football, and if it is, congratulations and welcome to the club. How you've whiffed your way down the ladder to watch us break this down for you, I am eternally grateful. So, let us know, because we'll get you in that Discord. In case you're unaware, Aaron Rodgers is now playing for the New York Jets. Let's not belabor this point any further, because we will have plenty of time to discuss it during the Jets show.
Yeah, he finally did it. He finally got out of Green Bay. You're welcome.
He is gone. His replacement will be longtime backup and former first-round draft pick, second-round draft pick. He was drafted by the Packers. I don't remember exactly what round. First round. Thank you, Mike. Jordan Love. He's finally going to get his opportunity to start. We have seen limited sample of Jordan Love. I believe this is his 4th year in the league. I believe I'm doing that correctly. I'm doing that from memory. That sounds right. He's had what, Mike? 1-2 career starts. It's very limited sample size. Like, he's coming in spot relief more than anything in games that don't matter. And
I think it's one start.
Yeah, like most, it's 1 or 2. Like most rookies, he's looked very raw. The Packers seem to have every confidence, though, that he has done the work in the background to take the reins, and they did not go and draft a quarterback. They didn't go and sign a free agent. They very adamantly stated, Jordan, it's going to be your job. Here's the keys to the car. Don't crash it. Wouldn't be the first time, by the way, that the Packers in my lifetime have started a quarterback that broke my heart and then rolled out another quarterback that continued the domination train of all my favorite sports teams. So we would be on the third time in my short little life that this might be happening. But I will say this is the time that I am the most dubious of it. From all the camp reports I have seen, they seem to be having some struggles getting the offense together. Read into that what you will, whether that's Jordan Love, the offense, the scheme changes. I'm not overly really worried about it too much, but it is worth noting that just yesterday, the whole Packers offense had to stay late to run wind sprints while the rest of the team got dismissed because of how badly they performed during the open session. You love to see it. Well, unless you're a Packers fan, then you probably don't love to see it. I love to see it. It makes me smile. Warms my cold, black Bears fan heart that maybe for once in my life they might actually have to struggle for something. Man, I got to tell you, the realm of outcomes for Jordan Love is so extreme. He could be anything from Desmond Ridder to young Aaron Rodgers. And I wouldn't necessarily, I'd be shocked by the last part of that, but not that shocked. You know what I mean? Like it's theoretically possible. And it's baked into the ADP. He is, by ranking, the quarterback 21, which translates to about 161 overall. His ADP, 146. So he is going in the 12th round as a very high-end QB2 or very low. No, that's really what it is. He might be a very low-end QB1 if you've punted the position. I've seen projections for him that range from 3,000 and change yards and a pathetic amount of touchdowns to people projecting him throwing for over 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Nobody knows anything about this. What I can tell you is I am completely uninterested. I will not roster Jordan Love at that ADP at all. If he was going at 161, we could talk. But at the 12th round in the 140s, no. I'd rather spend up a little bit in the 10th round to get Jason's boyfriend, Jared Goff, because I've seen that movie before and I know what I'm getting. I know what that offense is, at least at a high level. Or I'd rather any of the other options, realistically, in that region than Jordan Love. Tell me why I'm crazy.
Got nothing.
Oh no, that's so much silence. That's so much silence. Oh my God.
You're not crazy. I mean, maybe a 2 quarterback league, super flex. What can you expect from a guy making his first, starting his first season? I think it's just the only thing. I think the most impressive thing is just how eerily similar it is to like the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation of just like a young quarterback drafted in the first round, sits for 3 years. The veteran goes to the Jets. Like it's like exactly the same. Aaron Rodgers did look good his first year starting. I think he threw I just looked 28 touchdowns, a little over 4,000 yards. So he looked good, but
that was
Aaron
more
Rodgers
impressive. That was more impressive also in that version of the NFL.
Yeah, but he's also Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer,
yeah.
So
as much as I hate it, you are correct.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't expect if you want to take a shot on Love and I think we talked about pairing him with like a Jared Goff or something, which is something you can do and in the late rounds of your draft, go for it, but you'd be prepared to drop them pretty quickly, I think.
Week 3, it looks like, against the Saints.
Drop or add?
Drop.
Oh, okay.
Because the first 2 games look
he plays the Bears.
Yeah.
Because they have to embarrass the Bears on national television in week 1 every year.
Bears and Falcons, then the Saints, and then I saw Lions. Yep. There you go. Oh my gosh. And even their week 5, ouch, is decent. They play somebody.
Well, they were
Vegas.
They were a middle of the road team last year, so they're not going to have the easiest schedule.
Well, it looks pretty easy so far, minus the Saints, who at least have.
Saints aren't even that good.
I know, but they have a good defense.
In theory.
Historically, they have had a good defense.
Theoretically, they have a good defense. They were all over the road last year. Like
their bye week is 6.
It's not like he's throwing to. I mean, we're going to get into it. He's not throwing to much either.
That's part of my problem.
Yeah, I'm like Devontae Adams is not on this team to prop him up a bit. So,
way to spoil it, Mike. Way to ruin the whole show.
That was you missed 2022. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have much else to say about Jordan Love. I'd be surprised if he got.
You really think I don't remember that it was 2 years ago, huh? Like I'm just yanking your chain, man. Like,
well, I don't know. You could have Alzheimer's. I'm just throwing it out there.
I could actually. I'm getting up there. I am getting up there. I am. It's not even a joke. Like my Neil no brain good, like brain use good. Like no Neil have problem with cognitive thunk.
That sounds about right. Yep.
So we're all pretty much in agreement. Jordan Love, not at that ADP. If he falls and you want him as your backup, cool. But there's questions around the weapons. There's questions around him taking over. I know Mike gave us that lovely narrative, that super lovely narrative that I've lived my whole life with the Brett Favre transition to Aaron Rodgers. That is what I live in mortal fear of here. But that team actually that Rodgers took over was a lot better than this team, particularly in the pass catching arena.
Yeah.
That team had young Randall Cobb.
Yeah, and Greg Jennings.
Yeah, Donald like and Greg Jennings before he got hurt Nelson. A million times. Yeah. That team had real weapons. This team has
weapons.
Maybe. Maybe. We'll find out. Like
batons.
Yeah.
And nunchucks.
Yeah. It has like vouchers for weapons that you could redeem later at like Dave and Buster's. Like it's kind of what that it's like Dave and Buster's tickets. Like maybe that'll be good. I don't know. Like go over to the prize counter and figure it out. The one thing I'll say is
it could be a mystery box.
Right, exactly. It could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we want one of those? Take the box. Like that's exactly. That's exactly what that's how I feel about this entire team. So Love is just. I cannot understand how some of these people are trying to project Jordan Love for 4,500 yards and 28 touchdowns. Like, man, if you want to do that, I got a bridge in New York I'm going to sell you. You let me know. And for anybody who understands that reference, congratulations on your AP English test that you passed. I'm like, that's fantastic. Good for you. The 3 people that understood that joke are very smart people, very well read. Beyond that, let's talk about what we know, right? Because we don't know anything about Jordan Love, and I think we all agree the price tag is too high. So leave him out there. Let somebody else go for it, because it seems like based on his ADP, somebody likely will. Let's talk about running back, because the running back room is unchanged. It's still Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones takes a pay cut to stay in Green Bay, showing that Aaron Jones understands the current running back market and decided that having a job was better than not having a job. And I commend him for, normally I don't recommend people take pay cuts. However, in his exact situation, I commend him for reading the room and understanding that being employed is better than not being employed. And that's what he was going to be staring down if he hit the open market. A.J. Dillon, still on the team. I believe, is this the last year of A.J. Dillon's rookie contract? Can someone fact check me on that? Or is this year 3 of 4? I do not remember offhand. It's one of those two.
You get this 4th year.
I think this might be his last year on his rookie deal.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
UFA next year.
There you go. So you have A.J. Dillon last year on his rookie deal. Aaron Jones playing for a discount. And then the only other running back they really have is Patrick Taylor, who I defy anyone to tell me who Patrick Taylor actually is.
Fullback?
Yeah, that's my point. This is it, guys. These are your running backs. There's nothing else. And I think, honestly, you know what you're getting. Aaron Jones commands 40% of the between the tackles rushes and 70% of the pass catching, if not 80% of the pass catching. A.J. Dillon is the between the tackles runner and the thumper. He gets some of the actual red zone work as it is related to rushing, and he handles 20 to 25-ish percentage of the pass catching, and there is a reason for that. Because Aaron Jones is one of the better pass catchers in the NFL at the running back position. He's probably top 5, to be honest, at the position. A.J. Dillon is like top 40. Stone hands. However, A.J. Dillon is pretty good at thumping the ball between the tackles, and he runs hard. Relative ADPs. Aaron Jones didn't get the breakout that I think some people were hoping for last year. If you were listening to me, you weren't upset about where you drafted Aaron Jones because you knew what you were getting. However, the narrative was out there that he was going to bury A.J. Dillon on the depth chart and take over the entire job. That is not the Packers offense. That is not how the Packers offense historically has ever worked. They usually have 2 guys and they split the job. And that is exactly what happened last year. It's likely what's going to happen this year. And the good news is that it's baked into the ADPs. So it's right there for you. Aaron Jones, RB 14, translates to 37 overall, is going at 41 overall. What a steal. 4th round for Aaron Jones, a guy who was a late 1st round, very early 2nd round pick. We'll just call it 2nd round. He was a 2nd round pick last year. You get a 2-round discount on Aaron Jones. What's changed besides love? I'll wait. There you go. That silence tells me everything I needed to hear. And then you've got A.J. Dillon. This was the big disappointment for a lot of people. A lot of people had A.J. Dillon poised for the breakout year last year that never came. He did get a little bit better down the stretch, I will say that. But the beginning of his season was brutal. A.J. Dillon, RB 32 for this year, translates to about 89 overall. And his ADP is about 85. So he's slightly ahead as far as the public goes. Aaron Jones is slightly behind as far as the public goes, but it's only about 4 spots. It's not really enough and that's an overall ADP, not positional. So you're literally talking about 4 actual spots. It's not much of a difference. For me, my opinion on this remains unchanged. In PPR, Aaron Jones is the one I want. I am more than happy to get him in the 4th round. And I don't have any real use for A.J. Dillon, nor do I care about A.J. Dillon. Not interested. This has been my opinion for 3 years. It has not changed. I've been right for 3 years. I see no reason to change this opinion. Jason, have we learned a little lesson about maybe this argument we had last year?
It's the same argument. He's still going to be the guy in the end zone. That's what matters for him.
No.
Yes.
He's learned nothing, Mike. He learned nothing.
Who had more rushing touchdowns? I'm just saying.
I don't care about the pure rushing touchdowns. I care about total points, you muppet. Like, I don't care. You can argue what a cherry pick stats all day. Who's got more hairs on their head? You or me? You. Who was right about this argument last year? Me. Like, I could argue about this with you all day long.
Still the red zone guy.
Feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
But it's still too expensive. This is the guy to the point that it's too expensive for me to be drafting him.
Okay, so we have had some movement. Good.
Well, he was significantly cheaper last year.
I think he might have been higher last year.
No, he was being drafted higher last year.
No way.
I feel like he was being drafted, like in the 6th round.
6th round.
My issue with A.J. Dillon is everyone's talking about, if he gets the workload, the guy's had like 15 plus carries and like 10 times in his career, and he's rushed for 100 yards like once. He's just not good.
Oh, Mike can do calculator math. Get him.
Yeah. So he's just not very good. Like, even if he gets, if Aaron Jones does go down, okay, like he probably is a decent play on volume, but you're literally drafting him
in the what is that? 12.
It's 8th round.
In the 7th round.
So
based on the idea that if Aaron Jones got hurt,
exactly. Yeah.
What an that's the most expensive handcuff of all time.
Yeah, it's amount like Antonio Gibson, Kamara, Montgomery, all these guys are going around him, like Samaje Perine. I'm taking all of them, I'm just, way too expensive to be a handcuff for me. Like, he may get the big touchdown.
He may get the between the tackles thumper work in the red zone like Jason's talking about, and it's just not enough to sustain a 7th round value.
Yeah.
It's just not there. He would need to have the Jamal Williams season. for you to get anything out of this. Yeah. He doesn't catch passes.
He catches some passes.
Not enough to move the needle. Because Aaron Jones is superior at it. Just like Aaron Jones is a superior football player in efficiency, in pass catching, in just about every quantifiable metric, actually, except maybe a couple of pure rushing metrics. Aaron Jones is just better. It's just what it is. And we play PPR. If we were playing standard, or as Steve Bonham calls it, no point, I'll talk to you about A.J. Dillon in the 7th round. Sure. Because all you care about then is touchdowns. If that was the only quantifiable metric, like standard, where it's just, I only care about touchdowns, yeah, sure. A.J. Dillon in the 5th, 6th round makes sense to me. Because that's what you're hanging your hat on, is how often can he thump his body into the end zone. Enough to matter. But in PPR, I don't care. He's not going to get enough of those to make any difference. But by the same token, we know this now definitively. I've known it for a long time. We all know this now. Ain't no way nobody taking that job by themselves, as long as both of those guys are healthy. Even when Aaron Jones was clearly hurt at the end of last year, they were still running him out there. And they gave Dillon more work. And to your point, Mike, his efficiency was terrible. Remember those last 3-4 games of their season last year where Aaron Jones was limping around on one leg, and then they put A.J. Dillon out there for some additional work, and he was averaging 2.8 yards a carry? That's not good. It's not good. Jason, are you? I think you've already kind of conceded this point, but are you interested in either of these two guys? Or I got Mike's opinion is very clear, which is that from what I heard, Aaron Jones wheels up, A.J. Dillon not wheels up, wheels down hard. Are you interested in either of those two guys at their relative ADPs, or are you still not interested in Aaron Jones?
I mean, Jones is fine, but I can't. I'd much rather just get a wide receiver.
You want to just move on from this entire?
I'd rather have Chubb, and I'd rather go 1 and 2 with my running backs and then get my wide receivers.
I wouldn't debate you on Nick Chubb, but that's not.
No, he's not going to this point. But I mean, that'd be my first, second round.
He'd be gone by that point.
Yeah,
but I do see what you're saying.
I would suspect that I would already have my running backs by the 4th round, late 3rd round.
Possible.
So I'd be looking at wide receivers at this point, and so Jones wouldn't be on my list.
Mike, I'm a psycho. And if I had Aaron Jones and David Montgomery as my running backs, I'd be pulling the ripcord. I'd be dunking on people. Y'all, if we're gonna do old dated Family Guy reference, y'all are stupid. They're gonna be looking for Army guys. We'll do early 2000s Family Guy today. That's fine.
God. Which makes you want to go maybe target a receiver or two earlier, just because you can get Aaron Jones and James Conner and David Montgomery.
Joe
all
Mixon.
These guys being pushed. Mixon is another one, yeah. So
James Conner. There's just so many values at running back this year because people are just so preoccupied with grabbing up all the wide receivers early that it's just going to be such a weird year to draft. And like I said in the other show, I think it was the Denver show. I don't know that that's going to work in your home draft. In your expert drafts, that's definitely going to happen. But in the home draft, I don't know, man. Old habits die hard. I feel like there's going to be a run on running back in your at-home league with your friends and family where people are drinking and not looking at anything prior to, and are just like, Nick Chubb, good at football. Give me Nick Chubb. It's 5th overall pick. You know what I mean?
And I'll be buying every second of it.
Yeah.
I want all the Nick Chubb.
That's true.
All the Miles Sanders.
This is why we don't draft with Jason. You don't need to reach for it.
Don't care. I want it. It's mine. Give me my gold. No,
okay. Folks, we record these in batches, and this is the last one of the day. If you ever really pay attention to how we record these, this is why the 4th show in every cycle is always a tire fire. We've been doing this for too long. He's got the crazy eyes. Mike Burland wants to go to bed. I haven't eaten dinner. I'm getting cranky. It's one of the. It is what it is. Let's talk about wide receiver here real quick because this is going to be quick. I'm going to give you my opinion on the rip. I don't want any of this. Christian Watson is the the darling of fantasy circles from his insanely inflated touchdown run last year. Go rerun those numbers with Christian Watson not scoring a touchdown every week. We are not having this conversation. It's not even close to a conversation. And by the way, if Christian Watson is the poster child for touchdown regression. Poster child.
There's 15 catches, 7 touchdowns in his run, which is insane. Absolutely insane.
That's not okay.
It's cool to see, but
it's the definition of unsustainable.
But it's so much fun.
Literally not a sustainable thing. Does anyone care? No. Wide receiver 26 translates to 48 overall. The public is more sane somehow. ADP is 57. But I want to point out to you that is effectively a 4th round pick.
Nope.
It's middle of the 5th, I guess, if you really want to get technical here, which we do. So gross. Let's play a little. Let's. This isn't even a name game. This is more like I want to play a game from Saw. Christian Watson or Terry McLaurin?
McLaurin.
Even Jason, who is on the Jahan Dotson rocket to the moon, would rather have Terry McLaurin.
Christian Watson is amazing.
Christian Watson or DJ Moore?
More.
Christian Watson or Jerry Jeudy? That one's easy.
Jeudy.
Yeah, Jeudy easily.
Christian Watson or Tyler Lockett?
What? No, I'm kidding. Lockett.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. That would have been funny. I'm not gonna lie. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. That would have ended the show.
Takes me out and been gone. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. We're just gonna keep up the nonsense. Click.
For reference here, if we're just going down this list, I started thinking about it like around Brandon Ayuk, definitely over George Pickens.
I'd rather have Ayuk. I'd rather have Mike Williams.
Brown.
I'd rather have Mike Evans.
Yes.
I'd rather have Jahan Dotson, and I'm on the other end of that argument. I don't even want Jahan Dotson.
Don't lie.
I agree with you. Pickens is my Mendoza line where I'll start considering it. But you want to know what's fun? I'd rather have Jordan Addison.
Yep.
I'd rather have JSN.
Yep.
I'd rather have
what round are we in now?
Jason's boyfriend, Brandon Cooks. Oh, we're in like the 9th round, boys.
It's
like you get to Cortland Sutton, and then I'm out. Okay. And Cortland Sutton was a 9th round pick. So 4 rounds is what I think the variance is on Christian Watson, because I think that's what's real. That 5th round ADP presupposes the touchdowns that he was averaging last year, which is impossible for him to be on that pace. And he was doing that with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to do that with Jordan Love now? What?
These targets aren't weighed the same.
No, not at all. Like, as we've pointed out for many, many years, not all targets are created equal. If they were, the Baker Mayfield targets would mean a lot more. The Zach Wilson targets would also mean a lot more.
God, Garrett Wilson would have been so good last year.
Well, we might get. We'll talk about that on the appropriate show. I'm excited about that. But like, they want him ahead of Michael Pittman, and I don't even care if you think Michael Pittman isn't even good, and that he's going to get replaced by
Alec Pierce.
No, you're wrong. But okay, like either Pierce or Downs. I got nothing. Like, I'm not. No, you're insane. I don't even want Hollywood Brown, and even I'm looking at Hollywood Brown. Like, at least I know what Hollywood Brown's job is.
If he can stay healthy.
Right.
But Watson also.
He's the other one that I think is being way overdrafted is Hollywood Brown, but that's okay. Like,
Hollywood.
I would rather have Deontay Johnson, who had a brutal year last year.
But you know what? That man can separate.
He can. And he's at least theoretically healthy. He's at least theoretically healthy as well. Like, you got to get to like the 9th round where I'm talking about like Cortland Sutton, Juju Smith-Schuster, Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis. That's where Christian Watson should be going. By the way, that's 2 full tiers lower than where tiers, not rounds, tiers of player where he should be going by my rankings. Like, I view Christian Watson as like Elijah Moore. It's the same basic idea. He could be good. Maybe.
He's like Gabe Davis of last year, basically. Like,
similarly,
everyone was drafting him right around maybe round 5. I can't remember, but
I want to know where Gabe Davis is going right now? Round 9.
Round 10. Yeah,
Where
that's
Christian
he
Watson should be going. Yeah. In
Yeah.
that same tier of guys I just rattled off. Tier 6. This don't make no sense. Similar to my Sam Laporta conversation from yesterday. This don't make no sense. So
Yep.
the hype train is off the rails. I can't co-sign it. I will roster no Christian Watson, and I would advise no one roster Christian Watson before the 9th round.
You
When
might get the next guy though.
maybe
I like the value here.
Next guy is Romeo Dobbs, wide receiver 61. I believe this is year 2 of Dobbs.
Yes.
Yeah, wide receiver 61, 152 overall by rank, ADP's 149. I have no comments. If that's what floats your boat, it seems reasonable.
He is a better pass catcher than Watson. Barely.
You're talking about a 12th, 13th round pick. By that point, I care a lot less.
Great value at the cost.
I'm picking my tight ends at this point. Like, I probably already have my wide receiver room pretty much set. And then the last one is the one I'm actually excited for, at least to see it, which is Jaden Reed, who they drafted in this year's draft in the 2nd round. It's the first wide receiver they've drafted in, like, what was that stupid statistic? It's like 12 years or something idiotic. Like, and Jaden Reed, wide receiver 89, 225 overall by rank. He's going to ADP 187, so he's functionally Mr. Irrelevant. That is literally the end of the draft. I am interested in that because he came out of Michigan State, where they run a very similar offense to what the Packers are getting ready to run. He's going to start from day one playing on the outside. He's looked good in camp, and it doesn't cost me anything. So I can get a player effectively for nothing. If it pans out, great. If he flames out, okay, I don't care. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for on this Packers offense, where people are trying to carve out roles for themselves and figure out who they want to be when they grow up, because you've got a lot of youth on this team, as we just said. Christian Watson, this is his 2nd or 3rd year. I think this is his 2nd year, technically.
Also his
speaking.
2nd. Him and Dobbs came in at the same time.
Dobbs, 2nd year. Jaden Reed's a rookie. Those are your wide receivers that are projecting to start. And the ghost of Randall Cobb. There's Samari Torre, no. Bo Melton. I defy anyone to tell me anything about Bo Melton.
His name is Bo.
Where did Bo Melton play at college? That's the right answer. No one knows. That's the right answer. No one knows. That's correct. The stunned
Jackson
silence
State.
is the correct answer. Was it Cincy? Is that actually real?
No, I just said Jackson State. I have no idea.
I felt like it was
Jesus.
an R. Richmond
Rutgers?
is a smaller
Rutgers.
school. Oh, Rutgers. Yeah,
Rutgers.
that sounds right.
There you go.
All right. That's a total guess. I don't know because no one knows. No one cares.
He's a nice mustache.
He does. There's 3 players.
He has a
that-
mustache?
Yes, there's 3. His photo is actually relatively interesting. I saw it on Player Profiler. The 3 guys that are being drafted: Watson, Dobbs, Reed. If you want to take Dobbs, cool. There's been a lot of positive feedback about Dobbs out of camp. Same thing with Reed. It might take him a little while to get some traction, and he's very young, but he's going to play from day one, and he's going to have an opportunity to carve out a role.
Well, you
Christian
kind of brought up Player Profiler. Did you see his comparable?
No, I didn't actually.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, there you go. You like that? So
Doesn't suck.
it doesn't suck. There's and then there's the glaring mistake of taking Christian Watson in the 5th round. It makes you're making a lot of assumptions if you're going to reach that high on Watson. We always say, like, you can't really lose or you can't win your draft in the first 5 rounds. You damn sure can't lose it. That feels like how you do that. Feels like how you would absolutely do that.
Sink your lifeboat right there.
Yeah, just blow up your whole team. And hey, if I'm wrong about this, clip the audio, clown on me all season, make fun of me, tell me I suck, call me a grumpy dick. I don't care. There's no way that with sanity you'd have been able to prove this out. Anybody can guess. Guessing is easy. You could never have proved to me that you had any kind of meaningful statistical analysis that would lead you to believe that Christian Watson could return value on a 5th round pick. I'd love to see it. Also, but you wouldn't show it to me because you'd be living in Vegas under assumed identity as one of the most successful gamblers of all time. So, like
Vishal?
Vishal, yes, Vishal, literally Vishal. Actually, that's not his real name. Anybody else want to talk about anything on this team at all? Because I refuse to acknowledge Luke Musgrave or Tucker Kraft. I wrote it there for Jason's benefit. There's no tight end being drafted on this team. They don't matter, especially on this team. I couldn't even tell you which one would have the job. The Packers don't even know.
Probably going with Luke there. 6'6", 265, 256. He's a big dude. No.
He just
No,
likes to talk
not
about
much.
big dudes. He just likes to talk about big dudes.
I like big dudes, man.
He just likes big dudes. That's what this is. Like, have you heard this?
Drafted
Have you
second
watched
round.
Mike in the last 4 shows?
You know who's
His analysis on tight end is he's a big dude.
Dawson Knox?
Mike,
That's what he reminds me
Like,
of.
rather than acknowledge me, Mike just mutes himself. It's time to be done. But it's time to be done.
Yeah,
Any
I like them
final
big
thoughts?
bodies, man.
Any final thoughts? Oh my God, clip that. Clip
Like
that.
getting-
I'm gonna use.
Like getting big bodies.
I'm gonna
You know
use
how
that
works.
against you later. That's gonna be perfect.
Just
That's gonna be
moving
one of
people around.
yeah, we'll use that for one of the drops on the Thursday show. It's perfect.
Well, that's why
Any-
we like him over AJ Dillon, right? Dillon's a bigger body than Aaron Jones.
Mike, any final thoughts on the Packers, please?
No,
give me something to end this show.
Aaron Jones is the only bright spot. I'll take a shot on Romeo Dobbs, and everyone else, no thanks.
I have very similar thoughts. Aaron Jones is the lone bright spot. I'll take a shot on Jaden Reed, and everything else is a no thanks. Jason.
Sounds good.
All right, love it, love it. Jason wants Luke Musgrave. That's because he's a big guy and he likes big bodies. That's what I heard. That was his contribution. To
Being
the end
able
of
to
that
move
show.
people
That's-
around is important.
That's perfect. That's that kind of hard hitting analysis that we're famous for around here.
You love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure dissecting the Green Bay Packers. I hope it's been as much fun to listen to as it was for us to. I can't even get through it. Like, if you're still here,
Congratulations.
you are a true super fan, and I love you. That's from the bottom of my heart. Tune in tomorrow as we break down a topic that is very near and dear to Jason's heart: the Houston Texans. Oh, wait, do you even care anymore now that Brandon Cooks isn't even on that? Oh, wait, they still have Davis Mills. I guess contractually you have to show up for that and talk about Davis Mills. We will get all of Jason's thoughts about the quarterback competition between CJ Stroud and his BFF Davis Mills tomorrow when we break down the Houston Texans. Until then, keep up the nonsense.
I'm Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, and you can find all the guys at ImportantNonsense.com. Kaboom!